Hi everyone, so welcome to today's video. Thanks so much for tuning in and joining me. Today we're doing a look again with the Huda Beauty Pretty Grunge palette. I've been using this so much lately that I feel like at the end of the video you'll see kind of my overall thoughts on this palette. But I wanted to do another look to sort of give you some ideas and kind of create a very easy kind of smoky look. This is a little bit deeper and darker than I normally go for day to day, but I've really enjoyed going that really dark kind of grungy smoky look with this palette, and it's just really fun to use and to do different looks every time I sit down and open up this palette. It's something different and I like it. So I'm going to talk you through that look that I'm wearing right now in this video, but I also wanted to mention that the complexion is already done. It's basically the same thing that I did in my last video on Friday. I did that same combo because I'm literally obsessed with that combination of primer, foundation, and concealer. So I'm wearing it again today. And it will all be listed for you down below, including the colors that I wear in the concealer and the foundation, in case you are curious about that. If we're kind of close in skin tone, to kind of give you some sort of frame of reference, if I can talk today, to where to start looking at shade matches. So I hope that that's helpful for you down below. And if you want to see how to do this look today, then just continue watching. So I want to start this look off by applying some of the shade called Rise Up, which is this color right here. This is going to go into my crease with a big fluffy brush. And the only thing that I have on prior to filming is my MAC Painterly Paint Pot. That's what I use as my primer for my eyeshadow. And this is going to just blend right over that primer super easily. With that same brush, I'm going to go into the shade called Heroin, which is this one here that's more of like a kind of yellow buttercream type of shade. It's the second one in the top row. This is going to help me clean up around the edges as it blends towards my brow bone. I'm using just this smallest amount. Then I'm moving down to Love Anarchy here, which is another sort of lighter shade to add a little bit more depth to my crease. And I'm going to use that same Milani brush. And I'm just going to apply this basically right over the top of the Rise Up, but just sticking a little bit lower into my actual crease where the fold of my eyelid is, so that it sort of blends into that Rise Up without covering it up too much, if that makes sense. And one of the things that I've noticed as I've been using this palette and trying these formulas out and colors is that some of them appear a lot lighter in the pan than they do when you put them on. So just kind of be warned, if you buy this palette, some of the shades may surprise you. I'm going to switch to another Milani brush. This is actually one that came in that same set, and this is more of like a pencil brush. And I'm going to take that same Love Anarchy shade, and I'm going to use this on my lower lash line. And I'm doing it pretty thick out in this outer part as it kind of comes up and connects on the outer part of my crease area, and then just kind of tapering it thinner towards the inner corner, not bringing it in all the way. For a little bit more depth, I feel like it's good to switch to something smaller. The 210 from BK Beauty is perfect for this. And I'm going to take the shade called Nirvana, which is this really dark, kind of muted plum shade right here. So it's right below the black shade called Renegade. So Nirvana is a bit more of a kind of like a blackened purple type of shade. It's really, really rich. So for this, I'm going to just stick to the outer part of my eye on the lower lash line. And I'm going to put the most out here, and then just, again, taper that towards the inner corner as well. And I'm going to soften those edges out. You could use a little bit more of Anarchy. Love Anarchy, actually, is what it's called, which I am going to do. Pick up just a little bit of that and go right below that. And it's going to create a really kind of smoky, kind of grungy look, which I think goes with the vibe of this palette of not having a super like neat and perfect look. It just sort of is messy. Taking a little bit of Heroin on a small brush. This is a Profusion Flat Shader ES5. And I'm going to use that to clean up right in this part here, because I don't want it to look too harsh right in this inner part here. Then I'm taking a little bit more of that Nirvana shade, and I'm going to tap off the excess with that same kind of pencil brush. And I'm going to start working this color on the outer part of my lower lash line, on the upper lash line, just to create some smokiness out in this outer V area. And then I'm just kind of blending a little bit more. I switched to a smaller brush this time, and I'm just gonna kind of create an angle with it, almost as if it were liner, but I'm gonna go back and sort of blend this out. So again, this is one of those palettes where it looks really dark and deep, but you have to kind of trust the process when you are using this palette, because sometimes it can look a little intense with these darker shades. It should look something like this. I know it's not very well blended right in this center part of the eye, but we're going to cover that up. But it's mostly just to kind of create some depth right on this outer part with that same shade that kind of comes down from the lower lash line. Just making sure it connects out here. And then again, just going back in and blending some more. So you just have to kind of trust the process and be a little bit patient with really darker tones. Now that the blending is done and I'm happy somewhat with where I'm at right now, to continue moving on to the actual shimmers, and then I may go back in and add some more depth. So I'm going to use the shade called Strong AF, which is the third shade in the second row, and it actually has like a swirled effect to it when you first open the palette for the first time, but once you swirl the shades together, it doesn't look quite as pretty as a kind of swirled marbleized effect, which is pretty neat. So I'm going to take that color and I'm going to apply that right on the center and just slightly tap over that sort of angle. Do you see that angle with the eyeshadow? I'm going to cover that up with some of this eyeshadow color. And I'm not going to bring this dark shade in all the way. I'm going to add a lighter color in the inner part. But this is going to be sort of the center lid to almost all the way to the outer corner. And then the lightest shade that's not silver, because you could do this one here. This one is called Maverick. This one is very silver and it's very impactful. So I'm going to go in with this one here that is called Stand Up, which is a rose gold. And I'm going to kind of blend that into the Strong AF color. And something about mixing the rose gold with some of these kind of cooler tones, I just like the way that looks. It looks really pretty. So I'll show you. Take a little bit of that rose gold shade and pop that right in that empty space there. Just kind of mixing the rose gold with a little bit of the gray and silver. It's just really nice. And it just creates a really soft kind of fade between those colors. And then I'm just going to take a little bit more of the Nirvana and I'm just going to stamp it very carefully right on this outer edge to deepen this up right here. I'm not going to pull this in any further, just right on this outer corner. You see it definitely adds some more smokiness. And then I'm switching to just an eyeshadow brush and I'm just blending. I'm not adding anything to this look because it is looking quite dark and smoky already. But if that's what you want, more depth, you certainly could take it all the way with this palette. Then, I don't know, I feel a pull towards this one shade to incorporate it ever so slightly. I'm going to get a very wispy crease brush. The shade called Liberty. It's kind of a warm, slightly peachy type of shade. I want to take that a little bit above. I'll show you. Take a little bit of that color and go right above all of this, just to add a little bit of warmth, kind of like a halo effect right around all of this darkness, and then just kind of blending this around, creating like a border effect. To highlight my inner corner, I'm going to go into my Fenty highlighter. This is the Killawatt highlighter with Lightning Dust and Fire Crystal. I'm going to go in with this lighter shade of the two highlighters and a small little detail brush. This is going to be my inner corner highlight and my brow bone highlight. Then I'm going to finish everything off with a little bit of liner and mascara, and then I will come back to show you the full completed look. Moving on to lips for today, I'm going to do a combination of 3 different products. I already have some of this lip balm from Naturium on. This is the Phyto Glow Lip Balm in Hibiscus. This is described as a sheer hot pink, so that's what I've been wearing throughout the video. It gives a very subtle kind of pink tint to the lips, which I absolutely love. I actually did order some more of this and some of their skincare products because I'm running out of my moisturizer from Charlotte Tilbury, the Magic Cream. I used the last little bit today, which is probably why my skin feels a little tight because I don't have a backup. So I ordered a moisturizer from Naturium, and I picked up some more of these lip balms. So I can't wait to get those in because I love those. So for the lip liner, I'm going to go in with the Anastasia Beverly Hills in the shade called Dusty Rose. And I'm just going to line and fill in my lips right over that lip balm. I'm not taking it off because it's going to add that sort of pink tone to the lip with the lipstick that I'm going to use today. So I'm just going to go right in with this. Do you see that lip liner? It just went on with ease. I love this formula. It's a traditional sharpened wooden pencil. It's smooth, it's creamy, but it actually stays on and lasts a decent amount of time. And it went right over the lip balm and filled in my lips completely, evenly. I love that formula so much. Then I'm going to go in with my Victoria Beckham lipstick in the shade called Twist, which I've been using a lot lately and I love. It's a little bit lighter, very similar in tone to the lip liner. And there you have it. Super comfortable, very luxurious feeling on the lips, the formula. The packaging is also really beautiful, even though these are a little bit more pricey lipsticks. I also love the slim sort of bullet shape to the lipstick. It's just really nice, super luxe feeling. And that kind of deeper rose color looks, I think, really well with the silvers and the grays and the tones that we use on the eyes. So I do want to add a little bit more lip balm because I'm obsessed with this lip balm. And I do want a little bit more shine, so I'm just going to add something with color. You could do clear. And I just love how this formula feels so thick and cushiony on the lips without feeling goopy, without feeling just nasty on the lips. It fills in all the lines. It truly is a great formula for 10 bucks. It honestly can't be beat. And that is the lip combo for today. So that completes the look. I hope that you enjoyed this tutorial for the eyes today. Everything is going to be listed, as I mentioned before, in the description box for you. And I feel like I've used this palette from Huda Beauty enough to really say that I do think you get a good value for your money. The range of looks from very light everyday to really deep and dark and everything in between, I do feel like you are getting quite a bit of value for your money. And the formulas perform really well, and I just don't have a lot of negative things to say, except obviously the price point. It's 70 bucks. It's a little up there for a palette, but you are getting a lot of colors, and you're also getting a cream eyeliner or a cream shadow that is black that kind of goes with all of the shades, and you can use as liner or as a base for any of these colors. And the fact that you're getting a lot of variety, I think it's really great. Even though it is up there in price point, I do think it's pretty good, and it's a pretty solid formula. So I feel like this is essentially kind of like a mini review of this product because I've used it so much that I feel like I'm at a point where I can really say that I do think it's worth it. And if you purchase this palette and you use it, I think you will enjoy it. Obviously, you have to really like these kind of smoky tones and these really dark kind of sultry looks because that's what prominently is what's going to come out of this palette. Although you can do natural and soft every day, sticking to some of the lighter tones, but in general, it's going to be pretty dark and smoky, which is kind of what we have going on here today. As you saw throughout the video, it's pretty easy to use and to get the colors to blend and look really pretty. And I just love the sparkle and the effect of those metallics and the shimmers. They're just really good formulas. So I hope that this was helpful. And you'll see this, of course, in other videos in the future. And if you want to see more looks, let me know what you want to see. Or if you're interested in seeing more tutorials with this, I can definitely do that for you. So I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for being here and for watching and tuning in and just being here to support me and my channel. It means so much to me. So I hope you're doing well, and thank you again for being here and the support. You can follow me on Instagram and pay me a visit. It's always on the screen. I hope to connect with you there. Subscribe for more videos like this in the future, and I hope to see you on Friday. Take care, you guys, and we'll talk very soon.